Imagine that you are halfway through your life, and suddenly you are overwhelmed by the feeling that you've wasted all your opportunities and your dreams will never come true. Anxiety, dissatisfaction, and doubts about the meaning of your own existence take hold of you. Welcome to the midlife crisis, which affects a significant portion of the population, especially men. However, according to some psychologists, there is a surprisingly effective prevention method: learning to be a little selfish. Does that sound controversial? Let's take a closer look at the magic of a healthy dose of selfishness and what to watch out for. A midlife crisis typically appears between the late 30s and around 55 years of age. It can be harmless. Many people, including women, psychologically drift a bit out of balance during middle age. Often during this period, life satisfaction decreases until you realize that there is a considerable gap between what you are and what you once set out to be. Did I fully utilize my life potential? Such questions become more urgent, and the frustration of not being able to answer them clearly grows. In a desperate attempt to recapture the feeling of youth and fulfillment, some men reach for symbols of lost vitality. They buy sleek sports cars, dress like teenagers, or embark on an adventurous motorcycle ride. Others throw themselves into extreme sports challenges like training for a marathon. The desire to reaffirm their attractiveness and masculinity can even lead to leaving a long-term partner for a significantly younger woman. The admiration of young women seems to be proof that they are far from being past their prime. Women, on the other hand, in pursuit of rejuvenation, undergo Botox injections or follow drastic diets. All these efforts are mainly united by the need to boost one's ego and feel alive again in the face of the realization of one's mortality. One theory suggests that men are more prone to this crisis because of repressed selfishness in the past. While women are used to asking about their own needs and desires, men often start to deal with their individuality and dreams only later in life. This debt to themselves may then manifest as a midlife crisis. One of the main reasons is men's tendency to be prosocial, conscientious, and responsible. These men spent most of their adult lives doing what was expected of them, often at their own expense. Around the age of 40 to 50, many of them realize that they have spent their lives fulfilling others' expectations, but their own desires and wishes have remained unfulfilled. At this moment, long-repressed selfishness may explode in full force and manifest as a midlife crisis. This suggests that a certain degree of healthy selfishness is evidently natural and necessary for a harmonious life. The problem arises when a man suppresses this side of his personality for a long time. In middle age, his selfishness may erupt as if he were returning to adolescence. This is why the manifestations of a midlife crisis often resemble teenage fantasies, fast cars, and beautiful women. The good advice, then, is to cultivate healthy selfishness and self-love continuously from a young age. A man who takes care of himself in the long term and listens to his needs is less likely to explode in youthful selfishness at 40 or 50. The cliché of fast cars and beautiful women may also stem from the fact that men admired these symbolic trophies all their lives but could not afford them. With the achieved social status and financial security in middle age, they become more accessible, and they try to attain them in an attempt to compensate for unfulfilled desires from the past. The second reason why men are more prone to a midlife crisis is their ability to delay gratification. Many men spend 2 decades working hard to build a career, social status, and financial security. Their success often stems from high commitment and discipline. The problem arises when these men decide to start prioritizing their own needs. Given that they have neglected rewarding themselves for a long time, they may have trouble maintaining a healthy balance. This situation can be likened to a starving person being brought to a richly set table. It is highly likely that they will not be able to control themselves and will overeat because their ability to self-regulate is weakened. Men who indulge in regular self-care from a young age, take care of their needs, and listen to their wishes and dreams are less likely to find themselves in a life crisis in middle age. Maintaining a healthy level of creative selfishness acts as a valve that prevents the buildup of too much internal pressure. However, this does not mean that a man should be entirely self-centered. It is more about occasionally carving out islands for oneself for hobbies, rest, or personal development. At the same time, it is necessary to keep in mind that self-awareness and reflection on one's life should be a lifelong process, not just a one-time matter of middle age. It is true that societal expectations placed on men, whether as providers or protectors, can lead to the suppression of their own desires and dreams. However, this phenomenon is not limited to men. Women, especially mothers who selflessly devote themselves to their children, often neglect their personal desires and aspirations. An example can be the postponement of a new hobby indefinitely with the justification that there is no time or energy for it. The reality may be, however, that men also act out of ambitious motives or avoid certain things out of convenience or lack of energy. From a female perspective, the difference between genders in relation to age manifests differently. Women often experience the trauma of youth throughout their lives. From the age of 30, they invest in makeup, powder, and expensive anti-aging cosmetics to hide the signs of aging and maintain an attractive appearance. This societal pressure for eternal youth forces women to confront the aging process very early on. Another factor is the more frequent visits to medical checkups and preventive examinations among women. As a result, women are continuously reminded of the transience of life and potential health limitations. Therefore, the thought of wasted life opportunities may not explode as suddenly and strongly in middle age as it does in some men. Generally speaking, a midlife crisis affects both sexes, though it may have different triggers and manifestations. The key to prevention or mitigating its impact is listening to one's needs, ongoing self-reflection, and striving for a fulfilling life at every stage. Men, on the other hand, tend to ignore the aging process for quite a long time. Many live under the illusion that the signs of aging do not concern them, and that everything is fine. However, when one day around the age of 45, they realize that their hair is thinning, their youthful appearance is fading, morning aches and pains are setting in, and their physical condition is deteriorating, they suddenly become aware of their age. At that moment, they often try to reclaim lost youth quickly and all at once. The key to a quality life is the ongoing conscious creation of islands of joy and satisfaction, rather than postponing them to an indefinite future. Cultivating healthy self-love and rewarding oneself for a job well done helps prevent frustration and feelings of loss in middle age. The cultivation of creative selfishness also reduces the risk of blaming others, whether a partner or children, for unfulfilled dreams. One realizes that they are primarily responsible for fulfilling their own wishes and needs. It's never too late to start. While you can't turn back the last 15 years, you can give yourself more peace, self-love, and rewards in the present moment. Investing in your own well-being always pays off in the long run. If you find this video helpful, don't hesitate to subscribe and recommend the channel to your friends. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you all the best.